Chiefs and Titans made official the trade that they agreed to yesterday. DeAndre Hopkins goes to Kansas City, and Andy Reid was asked earlier today if he would plan to use DeAndre Hopkins Sunday against the Raiders, and he said, why not? Why wait? And the idea is for Hopkins to be out there making his Chiefs debut Sunday against the Raiders team. And also, the Chiefs placed Sky Moore on injured reserve due to a core muscle injury. So they get DeAndre Hopkins. They lose Sky Moore for at least 4 games. And now they will make do with Hopkins going up against a Raiders team that was the last team to beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day last season.
That's a good reminder. Hey, the Chiefs had a big need at wide receiver with Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown, and now Juju Smith-Schuster all being out with injuries. We just saw Sky Moore as well. But besides DeAndre Hopkins, the other Chiefs receivers that will be active this week are Xavier Worthy, Mecole Hardman, and Justin Watson. Worthy averages the most receiving yards out of all the group at just 33. Hopkins has averaged 75 yards per game in his career, which is top 10 among active players. Super impressive thinking about the variety of quarterbacks he's played with. Hopkins spoke about the trade moments ago.
It means a lot. It takes your game to a different level. It takes your focus, your drive, knowing that you're playing for something. It takes your game to a different level. I haven't played meaningful football in a couple years since, we probably started 8-0 in Arizona. So, it takes your game to a different level.
So interesting to think about. He hasn't played meaningful football in 2 years. Mina, what did you think about the Chiefs making this trade?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. I mean, I've seen some people say, he's not 2017 DeAndre Hopkins. He doesn't have to be 2017 DeAndre Hopkins. They don't need him to separate downfield. They need him to use his veteran understanding of leverage and spacing to get open versus zone coverage. They need him to use those unbelievable hands of his to catch the ball and move the chains. I think RC back to how Juju Smith-Schuster was used in 2022, which people forget, but he put up over 900 receiving yards in this offense. Yeah. And a lot of it was, I think, similar to how I would use Hop in breaking routes, slants, shallow crossers in high traffic areas. He is completely capable of doing all those things and adding a much needed element to this Chiefs passing attack.
Yeah, also he allows Patrick Mahomes to throw an imperfect ball. The ball doesn't have to be right on the money when you're dealing with DeAndre Hopkins, and he also understands space, as Mina has already mentioned. And I think this is also part of unlocking Xavier Worthy. Go back to last game against San Francisco. Patrick Mahomes misses him when he splits too high coverage, and then 2 plays later, he tries to get Xavier Worthy down the field again. Xavier falls and is picked off by Deommodore Lenoir. When we saw Juju Smith-Schuster go out, it was because we knew that he was going to be the guy that replaced some of the crossers that you would miss. Now I think DeAndre Hopkins can do that, but why not work Xavier Worthy in those same sort of spaces? And I think this isn't just, okay, DeAndre Hopkins, I want you to come in and be the guy. Is DeAndre Hopkins come in and fill a space, and now let's also expand on what everyone else is doing on this team as well.
The Kansas City Chiefs are back in the spotlight, and this time they're stirring up conversations across the NFL for one surprising reason: DeAndre Hopkins. While nobody expected the Chiefs to make a bold move involving one of the league's most electrifying wide receivers, the idea has been circulating in the NFL for some time now. What would Hopkins bring to Kansas City? And would it change the dynamics of the team that's already a perennial Super Bowl contender? We're diving deep into DeAndre Hopkins' career, his 2024 season, and why a move to Kansas City could make waves. Let's start by looking back at the incredible journey of DeAndre Hopkins. Known across the league as Nuck, Hopkins began his professional journey when the Houston Texans drafted him in the first round back in 2013. From the start, it was clear that he wasn't just any rookie. He quickly built a reputation as a reliable, clutch playmaker with an incredible ability to make acrobatic catches. During his time with the Texans, Hopkins was nothing short of spectacular. By his second season, he was already pushing for over 1,000 yards, and in 2015, he became the Texans' first receiver to catch a pass for over 1,500 yards. For 7 seasons, he dominated as Houston's top receiver, ultimately earning 3 All-Pro selections and 4 Pro Bowl appearances. In 2020, Hopkins made his way to the Arizona Cardinals in a high-profile trade, teaming up with young star quarterback Kyler Murray. In his debut season with Arizona, he put up 1,407 yards, instantly connecting with Murray and giving the Cardinals a true deep threat. Fans recall his Hail Murray catch against the Buffalo Bills, a moment that cemented his reputation as one of the game's most reliable receivers. Hopkins continued to shine in Arizona until injuries and suspensions slowed him down in later seasons. Now, with over a decade in the league, Hopkins has built a legacy that few can rival. Over his career, he's racked up over 10,000 receiving yards, multiple All-Pro selections, and a highlight reel full of spectacular catches. But despite his incredible resume, there's still one thing missing: a Super Bowl ring. Could Kansas City be his chance to finally achieve that? But here's the big question: could he still make that impact? Let's look at his 2024 stats. So, how is DeAndre Hopkins performing this season? The 2024 season has been an interesting one for Hopkins. After moving on from Arizona, he's shown that he still has plenty left in the tank, but he's had to adjust to a new team and system. While he may not be hitting his career-high numbers, he's still proving his value on the field. As of now, Hopkins has been posting solid stats, around 202 yards with 1 touchdown this season. While these numbers might not match his peak seasons with the Texans or his debut year with the Cardinals, it's clear that he remains a dangerous weapon and can elevate an offense when given the opportunity. One of the unique aspects of Hopkins' style is his ability to make contested catches and serve as a reliable target in tight situations. He's known for his precise route running, his ability to read defenses, and his knack for pulling down catches in tight coverage. Skills that any team, especially one with championship aspirations, could benefit from. But how exactly could Hopkins fit into the Chiefs' high-powered offense? Let's break down what he could bring to Kansas City. Now let's look at why the Kansas City Chiefs would be interested in DeAndre Hopkins and how he could impact their team. Picture this: Hopkins joining forces with Patrick Mahomes and head coach Andy Reid, both known for their creative and high-powered offense. Adding Hopkins to the Chiefs' roster would bring even more depth to their already talented receiving core. While the Chiefs have some solid receiving options in Travis Kelce and the emerging talents of players like Rashee Rice, adding a seasoned veteran like Hopkins could make a huge difference. Imagine the scenarios where Hopkins, with his knack for route precision and contested catches, could become Mahomes' go-to in tight situations or late-game scenarios. Hopkins' playstyle could complement Mahomes' improvisational ability perfectly. Mahomes is known for making plays on the move, and Hopkins has shown throughout his career that he can read and react to broken plays and get open in scramble drills. It's a combination that would give opposing defenses nightmares. His presence would force opponents to choose between doubling Kelce or Hopkins, effectively spreading defensive coverage thin and creating more opportunities for other receivers. However, there's also the question of fit within the Chiefs' playstyle. The Chiefs are known for their speed and quick releases, and while Hopkins isn't the fastest receiver, his physicality and hands could provide a different kind of threat. Andy Reid would likely design specific packages to integrate Hopkins seamlessly, maximizing his strengths without slowing down their fast-paced offense. But before we get too far ahead, let's take a look at how the Chiefs are performing this season and where Hopkins could really make a difference. Now let's shift focus to the Chiefs' performance this season. Coming off yet another successful season and Super Bowl win, the Chiefs entered 2024 with high expectations. Currently sitting undefeated at 7-0, they're establishing themselves as one of the top teams in the AFC, proving that they remain a dominant force in the league. Patrick Mahomes, once again leading the offense alongside tight end Travis Kelce, has shown his usual poise and playmaking abilities, with Mahomes averaging over 300 passing yards per game and boasting a top-tier touchdown-to-interception ratio. However, it hasn't all been smooth sailing. While the Chiefs' offense continues to shine, they've encountered challenges with the wide receiver core. With a roster packed with young receivers like Rashee Rice and Sky Moore, there have been issues with drops and consistency, causing Mahomes to lean even more heavily on Kelce in critical moments. In games where defenses have managed to double Kelce, the Chiefs have struggled to find a consistent secondary target. This gap in receiving depth has been evident, especially in close games where reliable hands are crucial for moving the chains under pressure. On the defensive side, the Chiefs have shown significant improvement. Their pass rush has been particularly effective this season, with Chris Jones already recording multiple sacks and the linebacking core applying relentless pressure.